I really wish the people that look sort of with anger at the weirdos, at the happenings, at the psychedelic freakouts, would, instead of just looking with anger, just look with nothing and with no feeling, you know, be unbiased about it. Because they really don't realize that what these people are talking about is something that they really want themselves. It's something that everyone wants. You know, it's personal freedom to be able to talk and be able to say things. And it's dead straight. It's a real sort of basic pleasure for everyone. But it looks weird from the outside.
It's true!
This is a happening, an improvised game of chance meetings and chance events. Part demonstration, part performance, part sales promotion for the Underground's own newspaper, the International Times, and part just plain exuberance. It's an expression characteristic of London's other underground.
It's a revolution of youth against the old values of society. It's not a political revolution in the sense that there's no actual party to support.
We're like Marx and we're like Christ too, you know. So.
I think if people feel that what we're doing is disrupting their order, then what we're doing is anarchy.
The happening is the playing gesture, and playing gesture just because you like to play, because you like to make games, maybe of a less artistic form.
A lot of people who come into the scene from outside, the London scene that is, have had a little difficulty assimilating how sweet everything is.
We're not trying to necessarily, provoke the police as such, or to provoke anybody as such. I mean, if we had our way, we would just like to sort of sit around with each other and have a good time.
You mind taking anything right away? The London scene as such, the subject of this film, as I understand it, really began, if you want to put a date on it, in May 1965. An organization, a very loosely organized organization called the Poets Co-op, organized an international poetry reading, conference, seminar, what have you, in the Albert Hall. And with almost no organization, no publicity, complete chaos surrounding it, managed to cram the Albert Hall, which holds, I think, something like 7,500 people, full of young, enthusiastic sincere poetry enthusiasts who heard some of the top young poets living today from all over the world, Dutch poets, Simon Vicanu, Americans, Ginsberg and Corso and Ferlinghetti, the young English poets. And it was quite an occasion. And I think that will probably be, if any historian ever puts a date on the scene, that will probably be the first date.
Yes, and I am waiting for my case to come up. And I'm waiting for Voznesensky to turn on with us and speak love tonight. And I'm waiting for Aphrodite to grow live arms at a final disarmament conference. And I am waiting for our iron comrades to attend in a new rebirth of wonder.
Lippen, lippen, eo, 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 pu, pu. Na, 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 Napoleon, 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 na, 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 Napoleon, 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 Napoleon,
Over for now the vomit, invisible skull, the fear of bones, the grasp against man and woman and babe. From this single birth reborn that I am to be. So my own identity now nameless, neither man nor poet nor dragon nor god, but the dreaming me under physical stars with tender red moons in my belly, and the sun, my visible father, making my body visible through my own eyes.
The one thing interesting about that scene was that that particular poetry conference was the fact that it was completely publicized, almost in the main by posters, bill posters stuck up all over London. And that was the major form of communication, of telling people about jazz concerts, about poetry readings, about anything in the underground arts world. The International Times newspaper was an attempt to systemize a little bit the whole kind of underground communication system around the world. That's why, to a certain extent, we have the name International, because we are selling the paper in San Francisco, in New York, Amsterdam, Berlin, Buenos Aires, you name it. Anywhere that there are young people who are interested in contemporary ideas, in poetry, music, theater, politics, what have you.
We started by coming together, a group of people, some in the theatre, some in mixed media, myself in journalism. We came together and decided it had to start because the mood of the times had changed. Something was happening in London. We wanted to try and locate it.
Well, the International Times fits into the underground scene by being a communications medium. All the other scenes, you look around and you see they have their communications media. We don't have a radio station or a television station. You know, we just have a newspaper.
We get our information from people who have never had an outlet before. Say they have a new underground project going. They want to stage a procession. They're only too glad to contact the newspaper, and we're only too glad to print it. Our readers know we're dealing in this kind of information, and so they buy it.
One of the whole points of the movement we're involved in is that there are so many different kinds of people getting together under what they're coming to realize is a common bond. I mean, people who are politically oriented, people who are completely apolitical, you know, but who have interest in you know, completely different fields like mixed media, rock and roll, anything like that, who 5 years ago would not be found dead on the same street corner, are now coming together, you know, and you know, feel that they're part of something that, you know, that has a common bond.
If we get to the stage where we're less underground and we don't need our own information sheet, then we can devote our energies to doing something else. Personally, I think we should have a radio station. As soon as the opportunity comes, they'll start. Obviously, we want to get at people throughout the night. We want to tell them all the time, on the moment.
Another more tangible plan afoot is to stage several issues of the newspaper in a theater. One idea I had was putting the editor in a barrel with only his head showing to read his editorial, because that's the way he feels when he writes an editorial, perhaps. Well, let's say it was the way he feels when he writes an editorial. He feels very contained and can't really say what he wants to say. Well, if we put him on stage, I mean, this might be something that people could see because it's behind the words. I think one of the things that's happening is that, and if a newspaper finally disappears, and there's no reason for it, it will be because words have become obsolete. Another way that that this is beginning to manifest itself is in the importance of posters. This is something that's happening in China now. I mean, there's nothing but posters in terms of communication in China.
It can't happen here. It can't happen here. I'm telling you, my dear, that it can happen here. Because I've been checking it out, baby. I checked it out a couple of times. And I'm telling you, it can't happen here. Oh, darling, it's important that you believe me. Bop, 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 bop.
Yep. Good. Let me have a close-up.
A modern version of the It Girl, the International Times girl. Indica Bookshop, where she's being photographed, is one of the headquarters of the group of people who've come to be known as the Underground. It's a stylish, airy room crammed with books, the records of groups like the Grateful Dead, the Fugs, and the Mothers of Invention, and a mass of small circulation periodicals from all over the world. In a sense, it's an ordinary retail bookshop serving a specialized community. But as well as being a bookshop, it's also an information center, meeting place, and post office for the underground. It's an environment for the young to meet, talk, and simply observe each other in. And it's one of the places to which the poets and provos of other countries automatically head when they arrive in this country.
Yes? Fine. Yep. Just move into it and twirl it. Yep. Fine. Right, stop.